It said StarCraft rocks. That's what it said, Nathaniel.
Then it's settled. But we're here on Yansu. Let's do this. Spawning in the top right position. The red Zerg player tying the series with a proxy hatch. It's StarTale's life. Bringing us perhaps one of the most awkward games of StarCraft 2 in this whole tournament so far. Up against this gentleman in the southwest, the blue Terran, wearing blue. Is from Team Liquid, it is TaeJa!
TaeJa's list of victims in this tournament is absolutely incredible. Innovation, SOS, 4GG, Liquid Hero, former double DreamHack Winter champion, MMA, he beat Life earlier as well. Absolutely crazy set of results for both of these players. I mean, we can go to Life as well. MMA, JYP, Pult, Stardust, Naniwa, Innovation, Patience. Both of these players deserve this grand final, but who deserves the win? That's what we're here to find out between these two players.
Yeah, but this really has been an incredibly stacked tournament, for sure. As TaeJa opening up a little bit more, I guess, proactively. You get the fast economy with an expansion after the Reaper, but it allows him to get a little bit more scouting than, say, we saw on the Frost map with that Command Center first build.
Yeah, this Reaper's a good choice for this map as well. There's multiple entries into the main base, into the natural. It's much more difficult for Life to cover all areas, which means the Reaper can get in usually untouched, can even get into the drone line for maybe a drone kill or two. But as you said, scouting is very vital early on to see what Life has planned potentially. As Life with his Overlord there is scouting around in case there was another 2 barracks play from TaeJa, or at least an attempt of it.
Yeah, and for the first time I think he actually went hatchery first and didn't take his gas before his spawning pool. So it feels like a little bit of a different look at the start of this game for Life.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be focusing much more on a queen-heavy playstyle, which is going to be much heavier when it comes to creep spread. Good for defense as well. Good versus some playstyles, what we've seen from TaeJa in the past, such as Hellion Banshee playstyle as well.
And I think it's smart. This map, there's a lot of different ways that you can bring harass, and I think also the creep, if you can spread it towards the left and right side of the map, can spot drops as well in the case of your Overlords getting picked off or anything like that. But it's definitely unusual. And I kind of like this variety that we're seeing. Now the gas is being taken much later than normal. TaeJa moving out with the Reaper will get a read on this. And I'm kind of wondering what he'll be expecting after seeing Life do something that he pretty much hasn't done this tournament.
Yeah, I think Life was going to play that style until he saw the Reaper and then decided that Reaper Hellion can be a little bit difficult to deal with. Getting Zergling speed does help out quite a lot against that, if that's what we're going to see, which is highly likely here.
Yeah, Reaper just taking a couple of shots, actually picks off a few Zerglings. Very nice for TaeJa. As we all know, those Zerglings can do so much for Life. Barely gets out with his life. And we also have that Command Center coming in, the factory, the very standard follow-up. Nothing like a quick second gas, though. So I think Reaper Hellion, you're right, very common choice. And the second Reaper shows up, this Queen, without those speedlings, this Queen kind of be dancing around. It's very slow off creep. And there's a third Command Center as well for TaeJa.
Yeah, so TaeJa is opening up with the same build as he had done in the past. There is an Overlord on the way towards that, but one Reaper has snuck into the main base and has seen the gas being mined. No drones have been killed yet. 100 gas has been mined, and immediately a layer starts here for Life. That's something we don't see too often here.
This is something he definitely does not want the Reapers to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult, of course, because he's kind of jumping around. He's looking for drone kills.
Oops.
And Life, without his Zergling speed, can't really force these units away. There's almost no way that TaeJa won't spot this. He is going to pick off another drone. Not a bad pickup. He's grabbed 2 so far. And I don't think he's actually come into vision radius of that building lair, but no, Hellions are coming out as well.
Well, what do you think about the building lair here, choice for Life?
Well, I mean, commonly we see from builds like this, it's usually either some sort of really fast Roach Queen play with potentially a Nidus Worm. If he takes all 4 gas super fast, could be a fast Spire. He is taking a 3rd Extractor, but I'm not sure if it's Spire without that 4th gas.
All right, we'll wait and find out once that layer has completed what the choice is here for StarTale Life. Meanwhile, as you described earlier, it is just a regular setup here for TaeJa. 3 command center stim has started, Hellions have begun, and there is the Spire coming in.
All right.
And that's going to be some information which, if TaeJa knew this was happening, it becomes a much easier game to play, but he doesn't know yet.
I think TaeJa's going to realize it soon if he keeps bringing this pressure. All he has to do is see that the Zerglings for life don't have speed. What could you possibly do with the gas this early on? He has a spine crawler. Why would he need that? To defend against the Hellions, of course. So it should give away that read. And if TaeJa opens up double engineering bay, he'll have very slow production, but he still has the potential to get those missile turrets. It all comes down to the scouting. There's still a very late third base as well. There should be some alarms going off in the Terran player's head, and he's actually adding on the barracks before the engineering base. His production will kick up a little bit more, but can the mutas come in and do damage before that becomes a part of this game?
And that's what we're going to have to wait and find out here. TaeJa may start to realize what's going on, but he's actually had no physical confirmation. He hasn't seen it for sure. There's no scan. There's no correct information that pushes it in the right direction. It would only be an incline that he'd be going on. And with the engineering base coming in, he would be able to just about get turrets out in time as these mulas get across the other side. And here they are coming. 4 of them in production.
Larva pops, he's moving up to 6. This is still a very strong attack, but if his units are active on the map, he can buy himself time by running these Hellions around a little bit. There's still not a lot of Zerglings on the ground to defend, and as I say that, 10Q up, speed is coming close. Now the Reaper runs in. Really won't see too much. He does see that the speed is just kicked in, and maybe gotten radius of that layer, but now the mutas are out. This is it. He's getting on top of these Hellions as well.
He sees it now, doesn't he? Because they've just crossed over the Hellions, but there's no turrets in production until just this second. And with a Bailey Nest to follow this, with no evolution chambers, I think we're going to see a pretty aggressive gain here from Startail Life. Going to start off with Mutalist harassment. How many SCVs can he get? Because whatever he does, it will ultimately slow down TaeJa for the next follow-up attack, which I'm thinking we may see.
Yeah, the Marines stim up. He actually doesn't pick off anything. The missile turret in the main base finishes. He's got one in the natural as well. And so far, no edge gain. Having this quick production for the Terran is so important versus this, especially having the stim. He can't just fight these Marines head on. And he even has the bunker. Life not doing any damage yet, but here's a Baneling nest. A lot more Zerglings.
Yeah.
There's no evolution chambers, Apollo. He might just commit here off 2 bases.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get the Baneling speed here, and he is going to go for some big attack. But he hasn't been able to slow TaeJa down, which is a big part of this strategy he's trying to pull out. Killing SCVs, killing units, loose units moving around. Would love to have able to be done that. But with no Baneling speed starter, he's going to throw everything into Banelings. It's going to be a faster rush than it is if it hadn't been Baneling speed. He's going to try break the front door. Is it going to be enough? Combat Shields is about to finish. Medivacs are out. 1-1 upgrades are almost done for TaeJa at this point. The attack is about to commence. Is it going to work? There's no additional bunkers. TaeJa doesn't exactly know this is coming, but with the setup he has and the lack of damage being dealt by the Mutalisks,
23 Banelings, Apollo. He's just started Baneling speed, but I don't know if that's going to be a factor in this game. He's pressing up. There's no mines. It's just Marines and a couple Hellions to hold off this massive assault. He's pressing in. He's broken the wall of the natural. Marines trying to split behind this, but there's so much Zerg. Picking up some of these Marines. Actually, nice bit of micro trying to avoid those Banelings, but there's so many of them. He's being forced up the ramp of his main base, not even going for the SCVs. The Zerglings can take care of those, but most of the Banelings have actually been picked off. TaeJa's still alive.
TaeJa's still alive, and his 1-1 completed just in the nick of time there. These SCVs are going to try and run for their lives, but the attack is not over yet. More and more units are streaming across. If TaeJa's able just to keep the defense on lockdown, he will be taking this map. On the flip side, if we see Baneling speed complete, which it is almost done, and some good connections come in, then Likewise Live can take this map. But we're about to find out now. TaeJa, ultimately when 2-2 is done, well, that's going to be almost lights out for Life, but there's a long way for that. But I really think that TaeJa's in a pretty good position here.
I mean, but we've seen this situation far too many times in this tournament. Life with no upgrades beating a 2-2 Terran player. So can he still make this work? More Banelings being morphed in. Baneling speed is complete, and he's going to press in. He does have a Widow Mine to help cover this. He needs a great detonation. It only hits the Mutalisks, not the Banelings. A bunker tries to get up, still not complete. He's continuing to move in, but all the Banelings are gone. More Widow Mines burrowing. The Marines hanging out with those upgrades and those Medivacs continuing to stream out. Without any Banelings, I don't know if Life can actually break him.
Well, we're about to find out as Life is only streaming units across. It is now or never, and he's going to come in. A couple of good Widow Mine hits. A great pickup there by TaeJa to be able to save some of those Marines, even though he drops them right into the Zerglings. More and more units need to be streamed out here for TaeJa. He needs to keep up with the production of Life. He's broken the third base, but there is still a bunker. There are still Widow Mines. Remember, there's no Overseer or anything, so these Widow Mines will just keep on detonating over time. And with 2 being made each cycle, eventually there's going to be way too many middle wines, and the longer this game goes on, the better TaeJa is becoming, and the stronger his defense will become.
And it's important to consider he's been safely mining off those 2 bases. Still even in workers, the Banelings come up. Widowmine takes out one of them. There's still a couple left, and it does come down to that production. As you stated, he's running back. Widowmine detonates, not a big hit for TaeJa, and the Zerglings just trying to keep us around. He's moving up, trying to get to that main base ramp. The Banelings detonate on a few of these Marines. He can actually hide behind this wall, but the Zerglings get inside. Life is approaching the production of the Terran player. The mines can hurt reinforcements, but TaeJa needs to get these Mutalisks off of his barracks.
He needs to get the Mutalisks off there. Widowmine's going crazy on that right-hand side, getting rid of all the reinforcements. 2-2 is not too far away from finishing. That's going to help out the Marines a lot against this attack. TaeJa pushes it back one more time, but there's still a lot of Widowmines down this right-hand side, and they're going to be so useful. But an Overseer comes in, and they're all getting picked off. TaeJa has completed 2-2, and now his Marines are almost unstoppable if he can build a unit of them. He needs to keep building Marines. He's got 7 coming out per cycle. I don't even think he cares about that command center, to be honest. He just needs to survive to build a big enough army to stop this wave of assaults.
Good Widowmine shot takes out some of these Banelings. Those Zerglings, as you said, mostly fodder with the 2-2. Couple Banelings will take out the last few Marines. That 3rd command center under a lot of pressure. The SCVs trying to dive on top of this. He will save it. More Marines coming down. With that 2-2, these Mutalisks will be shredded almost instantly, and the Overseer also picked off, allows him to keep these Widowmines safe for a little bit longer.
And Life is giving up. He's going back to drones, and now that means that the waves will not continue to stream across the map. And now with 2-2 ton, TaeJa has weathered the storm. It was long, it was hard, but now he's done it. The Mutalisks are trying to find some angle to try to get some value from their worth, but ultimately TaeJa has survived. He's a little bit low in supply, and to be honest, I think TaeJa's going to get ready to move out soon, and the way that Life's going to have to play that, he can't really fight head on. I think it's going to have to be counterattacks again.
TaeJa needs to be incredibly careful. You mentioned moving out. That was the key fault, really, of innovation in the same situation. He managed to weather the storm, had those great upgrades, and got caught with his pants down, moving out, trying to end the game too quickly. A patient play from TaeJa is all he really needs to do. Overextending is the biggest mistake that he can make in this situation against Life.
Yeah, because you get way overeager. You've got 2-2, you feel invincible, but you don't want to make that mistake. Counterattacks could end your day. And we do have a great Widowmine spread here, and a drop has escaped on the left-hand side here for TaeJa. Widowmines everywhere. He's trying to get in this right-hand side, but that's not going to work. 1-1 upgrades very, very far away from Life. TaeJa's in the driving seat. He just shouldn't crash the car, and he'll be good.
And all he really needs to do is keep a sizable chunk of forces back home. It's easy to be cost-effective versus Zerglings. It's just the Banelings. Maintain good engagements, defend well, and try to get that really good army supply, because Life's using his production to try to gain the advantage with large numbers of units. The mutants come in, take out a missile turret. He's trying to pull them around there. The Banelings get a 3rd base mineral line. Most of the SCs make it out. They're clumped on the extractor, though. Banelings are going to kill everything. TaeJa barely moves it out in time. That was too close for comfort for the Liquid Terran, and he still manages to maintain a saturated 3rd.
Life was dealing with a drop back at home, and he didn't connect into the SCVs. That could have been major for his comeback. But nevertheless, the game continues on. TaeJa has +3 and +3 attack and +3 armor, and he actually is moving out with a bit of a squad of units. There's a Baneling counterattack ready to go, coming down the ramp, heading towards the SCV line. There are no units here.
And this is what Life does, just waiting for you to step out, grabs a good couple SCV kills here, trying to decide where to go. They're split pretty damn well, so the Marines will come up, finish these off, the cost of a few more workers, and Life coming back with the Mutalisks again. He's actually going to get his 1-1 completed.
And he's bought enough time to get 1-1. Remember, now it's just, 2 upgrades deficit compared to the 4 that it was before. And with Mutalisks entering the main base, they're going to bring it back once again. The Mutalisks clumping up together, so the turrets don't really know which one to hit. He can move back and forth. And then the Marines, likewise, he is going to pull out once again. And TaeJa, seemingly in an advantageous position. Life, like a crowd in the sign, like a sign in the crowd, always finds a way. Zerglings morphing a lot of Banelings here. It looks like we are going to see a big assault here from Life. And we are going to see this.
Life does not give up, that is for sure. 2-2 starting for the Startail Zerg player. Mutalisks trying to grab a medevac. But TaeJa, at this point in the game, he's starting to build enough of an army that if he can take 1 or 2 good engagements, as long as his production stays intact when he counterattacks, I don't know what Life can do to stop him. If he can plant the Widow Mines around the third base and get into a good position, at least defensively, to siege him with the Widow Mines.
Well, 2-2 is on its way now here for Life. And somehow he has found a way back into this game. The supply is not too different between them. Medivacs even get picked off there, and that was quite a few of them going down. But one of them did escape to the right-hand side. It is headed towards this base here.
I feel like Life's actually kind of waiting for him to move out. He has so many Zerglings and Banelings on the left side. Could try to sandwich him later on, but there the Mutalisk actually loses a couple of them, gets a couple of the mines. TaeJa just needs to be very careful with how he positions everything. He could sandwich him if he steps up that ramp. There's Banelings waiting on top, Zerglings and Banelings on the left side. Could split a few off to try to harass as well. And that 2-2 is getting ever closer, but the +3 upgrades are also completing for TaeJa. He still maintains an advantage.
All right, well, TaeJa's going to drop Life inside the main base here. It will pull him back, and then TaeJa's going to try to move out to take another base.
Cleaning up the tower. There are the Marines in the main, poking away at these drones. Might be able to grab the Queen, and he does. Nice confirmation, of course, nothing like a hive on the map, but the 4th base for Life is also going up.
Well, 3-3 is done. There is a window before Life's upgrades complete 2-2. He's back to a 4 upgrade advantage. TaeJa's moving forward. If he hits in this window, it's the best efficiency he could get. Life is streaming forward. Quite a few Banelings. Drops continue here. It looks like Life may be able to get towards his 2-2 upgrades.
It'd be really nice to kill this 4th base. He still has a lot of Zerglings hanging over there trying to deny this. The Zerglings and Banelings are heading towards that left base. Does get the hatchery, though. Very big pickup for TaeJa.
But ultimately here, the upgrades are about to close up once again. TaeJa's playing this slow. He realizes the threat of all these counterattacks. Oh, fresh mules. Whoa, fresh Widow Mines. They push those Mulists back immediately.
Very nice detonations. And, you know, TaeJa's actually been able to keep this to pretty much an even base setup. And I think this is one of the things that allows him to play ball with Life. He's not overextending by trying to get a base advantage. He's just being careful, methodical, slowly moving units out with the drops, keeping these mines planted behind his army in the case of the counterattacks. And Life's just, he's always looking for the position, always looking for positioning. If TaeJa moves out in the wrong direction, he can catch him. And we already see Life actually trying to barrel his way down towards that 3rd base. There's a lot of Widow Mines and Marines left to defend this, though.
There's a lot of Widow Mines there. Oh, Life separates his lings. He does lose quite a few. And he's going to not... Actually, TaeJa's trying to chase this down.
I mean, if he could grab these Banelings, it'd be very nice. Just needs to watch how far forward he steps, especially out of the street. The Banelings come back. Chew a nice chunk of these Marines apart. He only has 14 now, so a pretty sizable number. The Widow Mines are going to burrow on the ramp.
Position here. He's killed that 4th once again, and he's got his Widow Mines in. Here comes Life. He's going to fight through this funneled area. That's pretty good for TaeJa, and he is going to take a supply lead. Nice spread. Oh, picked off the rocks there, kind of dividing this force up. Nice move by Life.
And the rocks also kill off the Widow Mines. Nice grab there. So he's finally adding up the Drilling Claws upgrade. And TaeJa has a base lead. He's at 4 bases. And this is the part where he can just spend so much more money than his opponent. It doesn't matter how good Life's mechanics are anymore. He needs another base to continue producing this many units. He needs those extractors to keep making Banelings, to keep the Mutalisk count high. And TaeJa, with this 4th base, he's never going to stop pressing against the Star Tail.
There's no more room for counterattacks here. Life has to go for a frontal attack. He loses a couple of Banelings easily here, and he's going to go in, and this is going to be this Widow Mines there. There's a lot of Marines. Great spread from TaeJa. He's hiding behind extractors. The last few Banelings are going to come rolling in. Do they get the connections they need? As TaeJa stims back. Nice spread, and the Banelings do not get the best of connections, and the Marines stand strong once again, and he's edging closer and closer towards the victory. It's not over yet, with more units coming out from Life. His Mulist control's been sick throughout this game. He's still got 24 of them. They're still a threat in this game.
TaeJa, I think, taking a great engagement in that little game of Marine split challenge. He's still pressuring this 3rd base. But the Mutalisk counterattack. There's 4 missile turrets. That 1 Widow Mine not going to be quite enough, it seems. He's got so many Mutants. These Banelings detonating on only a few Marines. And he still doesn't really have that much to defend this 3rd. But at the very least, if he picks up this 4th command center, would be very nice. The SCV's not enough to repair that. Banelings are coming up. And where does Life go from here? This command center, he should be able to save it. The Marines coming up. He has mules as well to defend against this.
Yeah, he's going to repair that, and the 3rd hatchery has been destroyed. TaeJa's taken that hatchery out of this game. He's still got quite a few mineral patches down there, 300, 100. Still got quite a few Marines left to be built from those mineral patches. He is running a little bit low, though. But TaeJa moving forward, 3-3 upgrades versus 2-2. Every fight he takes is going to be more cost efficient. And the cost efficiency is everything in a game of low economy, which both of these players are in.
Yeah, and we're seeing that little bit of extra economy for the Terran players starting to show in that supply. Life's having a difficult time getting over that 100 mark, investing a lot into Mutalisks, trying to use the Mutas to honestly buy time for himself by forcing everything to come back. These missile turrets cannot stop a cloud this big anymore. He needs more defense than just this, and he's actually going for the third command center. It's dipping below towards that half health mark. The Marines are sprinting back. Can he save it? The SV's not repairing just yet. Life trying to claw some edges back in this game, and he gets one. TaeJa loses another base.
Unbelievable. Life always is pulling out these moves that get him back into the game. TaeJa picking up and dropping his Marines and spreading them there, but it looks like the Banelings, no, the Marines actually do win over, but the Mutalisks are on their way back to come help. And the game continues on once again. 123 supply for TaeJa, 100 for Life. These Mutalisks worth their weight in gold at this point, but that is a lot of Marines. Only 4 Banelings. A lot of Widowmines defending that. If the Mutalisks go there, that's one hell of a trap. Uh-oh.
I think he really doesn't want Mutalisks to kill these workers. Apollo steps forward. I think he started to realize, takes a lot of these. About half the mines killing half the Mutalisks. And he still has a few left to detonate. Gets a lot more of these Mutas. Life's flock reduced to about just 8-9 Mutas. This is not enough to bring that pressure against the missile turrets anymore. Fantastic trade for TaeJa.
Yeah, and Mutalisks are expensive at this time of the game. And he's not going to be able to replace them. Look at his gas. He's got 97 in the bank. He lost a lot of Mutalisks there, and that is going to be a sigh of relief for TaeJa. But Life is mining from these bases again, and it's going to come down to the Baneling hits. I mean, the Mutalisks aren't going to carry this any longer.
It certainly will. Those Mutalisks regenerate their health pretty quickly, but there's not enough of them anymore to take big snipes out of this army, and there's a little bit of space that doesn't have the creep on it. So TaeJa's positioning, he's just going to send a few Marines down, leave the rest on top of that ramp and spread them, and even hitting from the low ground while dropping the third base, pulling everything that Life has apart. And Life has played an incredibly impressive game considering the way that they started out, but these Mutalisks not able to hold off the drops anymore. The pressure from TaeJa seems to be too much almost.
Yeah, TaeJa's trying to put his opponent in a submission where he can't really get out of it. He's going to have to go fight to the left-hand side soon. And with TaeJa just waypointing his units over there, this is going to be a very difficult location to break. The Banelings get a couple of good hits at the front there, but there's still a lot of Widowmines. They're going to move even closer, and Life ultimately has to defend this location. When is he going to go into fight? Banelings come in. They don't do anything to these Marines, and Life is dropping below 50. GG.